Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Grandma Vickie's slow stitching and other fun handiwork. So today I just want to give you a little bit of an introduction. You may have a sewing kit that you don't know what to do with. You don't know what the items in the sewing kit are. We're going to go through a sewing kit and what each item can be used for and how you would use it. We will also go through various kinds of stitching, whether it would be to repair a tear in an item of clothing that you love and want to keep, or maybe even learning how to darn a sock or crochet a hat. We'll go over a lot of different things, but I do want to be able to share with you the things that I've learned throughout my life. And what I want to tell you today is that many years ago, when I was a much younger woman, and in fact I was just a girl going into 7th grade, I spent some time with my grandmother, Grandma Palo, and learned how to sew. And from that time on, I made most of my clothes that I wore to school. Later on, as I became busy with family, I didn't sew all of my clothes quite so much, but I did get a very good foundation in sewing from my grandmother, who was an excellent seamstress. So I may bring something about her up as we go through some of these tutorials and try to show you how to do different things. But I think I'll try to keep these little videos short, sweet, and to the point. And so you can watch one and learn what you need to learn, practice it, and then come back when you have another question and learn something else and how to use some of the various tools. But I want you to know I love you all, and I hope that you can find joy in some slow stitching. Now, I do want to say a little bit about slow stitching. So slow stitching, when I look at it on the internet, is talked about as being a meditative practice, but I kind of think of it as sewing by hand. And I have never sewn a large article of clothing totally by hand. I've done quite a bit of slow stitching here in recent years, but never a complete article of clothing by hand, and by that I mean stitching the seams by hand. And I have always felt like when I stitched by hand that maybe my stitches were not perfect enough or weren't even or whatever, and I was a little critical of them. But since I have divested myself, because I live in a tiny house, divested myself of my sewing machine and serger, I have started doing more stitching by hand. And what I have learned is that it is meditative, and I knew that when I was younger. I used to be very happy when it was time to sew a hem in, because I nearly always sewed hems in by hand. Often I would sew zippers in by hand. So it's just an idea that there are lots of things you can do sewing with a needle and thread, and we'll kind of talk about that as we go through, and I might show you some examples of things I have done or things that you might want to do. So welcome to Grandma Vickie's Slow Stitching. I look forward to creating more of these, and you have to know, I have to tell you that creating for the camera is a different process and another learning tool for me, and I always love to learn. So I will see you on the next video. Bye.